Imagine a world where your city works for you, not the other way around. A place where traffic jams are a memory, where the air is always clean, where your children have access to the best education, and where the very land you live on helps pay for it all. This isn't a scene from a distant science fiction movie. This is the audacious, revolutionary vision for a city called Telosa. And it's a plan to build it from scratch, right in the heart of the American desert. What if we could hit the reset button on urban living? What if we could design a metropolis from the ground up, using every piece of cutting-edge technology and every hard-won lesson about society to create a model for the rest of humanity? It sounds impossible, a utopian dream. But the multi-billion-dollar project to build Telosa is very real, and it aims to answer one of the most important questions of our time. Can we build a better future, one city at a time? If you're fascinated by the intersection of technology, society, and the bold ideas that could redefine our world, you've come to the right place. We dive deep into the innovations that are shaping tomorrow. So do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss where this journey takes us, and by joining our community, you help us explore even more incredible projects like this one. Now, let's peel back the layers of the most ambitious urban project of the 21st century. To understand Telosa, you first have to understand its creator, Marc Lore. This isn't some starry-eyed idealist with no real-world experience. Lore is a serial entrepreneur, a pragmatist who built and sold companies like Jet.com to Walmart for over $3 billion. He's a man who understands logistics, finance, and scale. And he looked at the state of modern cities and saw a fundamental flaw. He saw skyrocketing housing costs, crippling inequality, and crumbling infrastructure. He saw that the wealthiest people and corporations often benefit the most from a city's growth, while the essential workers, the teachers, the firefighters, the artists get priced out. The value that a community creates together is often captured by a select few. This observation led to the core philosophy behind Telosa, a concept he calls equitism. And this is the single most important idea you need to grasp, because it's what separates Telosa from every other smart city project on the planet. In a typical city, land is owned by private individuals or corporations. As the city grows and becomes more desirable, that land value skyrockets, making the landowners rich. In Telosa, the land will be owned by a community endowment, a foundation. As the city is built and people move in, the land value will still increase, but instead of that wealth going to private owners, it flows directly back into the endowment. That endowment then uses the money to fund social services, top-tier education, universal healthcare, job training, affordable housing, and vast public green spaces. In essence, the city's own success directly funds its residents' well-being. It's a closed-loop economic model where the growth of the community benefits the entire community. This isn't capitalism or socialism. It's a hybrid model, a new experiment in social economics that's baked into the very foundation of the city. The plan is to start with a target of 50,000 residents by 2030 on about 1,500 acres of land. But the vision doesn't stop there. Over the next 40 years, Telosa is designed to grow, to evolve, to mature into a thriving metropolis of 5 million people, spread across 150,000 acres. Roughly the size of Chicago. The price tag for this dream? An estimated $400 billion. A staggering number, but one that puts into perspective the sheer scale of this undertaking. They aren't just building a few smart buildings, they are attempting to build a new civilization model. So, where do you build a city of the future? You don't. You find a place where you can start with a completely blank slate. The team behind Telosa is currently scouting locations in the deserts of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Why the desert? Because it offers the one thing you can't get in an existing urban area: a fresh start. There's no old, decaying infrastructure to rip up and replace. No outdated power grids, no lead pipes, no century-old zoning laws to fight. Building in the desert allows the architects and engineers to design every single system from the ground up for maximum efficiency, sustainability, and quality of life. Of course, it also presents immense challenges. water is scarce. The heat is extreme. But these constraints are also a catalyst for innovation. They force the designers to create truly revolutionary solutions for energy, water, and architecture. Solutions that could, in turn, help other cities around the world adapt to a changing climate. At the heart of Telosa's design is a breathtaking piece of architecture, the Equitism Tower. Envisioned as a symbol for the city, this skyscraper is designed to be a beacon of progress. It would serve as a central hub, containing vertical farms, energy-producing solar roofs, and an elevated water storage system that filters and reuses water. It's not just a tall building. It's designed to be a living ecosystem, a landmark that embodies the city's values of sustainability and community. But the real genius of Telosa lies not in a single tower, but in the invisible network of technology that will power every aspect of daily life. Let's start with transportation. Forget everything you know about your daily commute. In Telosa, there will be no fossil fuel vehicles allowed within the city limits. The entire urban layout is being designed around people, not cars. The streets will be prioritized for pedestrians and cyclists. For longer distances, residents will rely on a fleet of autonomous electric vehicles, or pods, that can be summoned on demand. Imagine walking out of your apartment, tapping your phone, and having a quiet, self-driving pod arrive to take you to a restaurant, a park, or a friend's house. For even faster travel across the city, an underground high-speed transit system is planned. The entire city is being built on the 15-minute city concept, a design philosophy where your home, your job, your school, and all your essential amenities are accessible within a 15-minute walk or bike ride. This isn't just about convenience. It's a fundamental reimagining of urban space that eliminates the need for time-wasting, soul-crushing commutes, giving that time back to the residents to spend with family, on hobbies, or building their community. Now, about those desert challenges. How does a city of 5 million people survive, let alone thrive, in an arid environment? The answer is a radical approach to resource management. Water, the most precious resource, will be treated with incredible care. Telosa plans to implement a closed-loop water system. This means that all wastewater, from showers, sinks, and toilets, will be treated, purified to the highest standards, and reused within the city for irrigation and even drinking water. They're exploring cutting-edge technologies like atmospheric water generation, literally pulling moisture from the desert air. For food production, instead of sprawling farms that consume vast amounts of water, Telosa will integrate aeroponic and vertical farms directly into the urban fabric. These high-tech farms use up to 95% less water than traditional agriculture, grow produce year-round without soil, and are stacked vertically inside buildings. This means fresh, healthy food is grown just blocks away from where it's consumed, drastically reducing transportation costs and carbon emissions, and ensuring food security for the entire population. Energy, too, will be a showcase of sustainability. The city is designed to run on 100% renewable energy. The sun-drenched desert location makes it a perfect candidate for massive solar farms. But it goes further than that. The very buildings themselves will be power plants, with photovoltaic glass and solar panels integrated into their facades and roofs. Geothermal energy from deep within the earth could provide consistent power day and night. The city's smart grid will manage this energy flow with unparalleled efficiency, storing excess power in large-scale batteries and distributing it precisely where it's needed, eliminating waste and ensuring a constant, reliable, and clean power supply. This level of citywide coordination is only possible through what is perhaps the most futuristic and potentially controversial aspect of Telosa, its digital twin. Imagine a complete, one-to-one virtual replica of the entire city, updated in real time. Every vehicle, every power line, every water pipe, every building's energy consumption, every traffic flow, all of it mirrored in a massive dynamic simulation. This digital twin is the central nervous system of Telosa. City planners can use it to test new policies in the virtual world before implementing them in the real one. They can simulate the impact of a new public park on traffic patterns or predict energy demand during a heat wave. The city's AI would use this data to autonomously manage systems. It could reroute autonomous vehicles to avoid congestion, divert energy to areas that need it most, or instantly detect a water leak in a pipe buried deep underground and dispatch a repair drone. Emergency services would be revolutionized. In the event of a fire, the system would instantly clear a path for emergency vehicles, provide firefighters with a 3D blueprint of the building, and identify the safest evacuation routes for people inside. This, of course, raises a critical question. How do you build a data-driven utopia without it becoming a surveillance dystopia? The idea of a city that knows everything is happening within it is unnerving to many. The creators of Telosa claim to be acutely aware of this. They stress that transparency and citizen control will be paramount. The plan is to have open, public policies about what data is collected and how it's used. The data would be anonymized and used for city management, not for tracking individuals. Residents would theoretically have control over their own personal data. But this remains one of the biggest social and ethical challenges. Finding the perfect balance between efficiency and privacy, between a smart city and a surveillance state, will be one of the great tests of the Telosa experiment. Beyond the technology, Telosa aims to be a leader in human development. The wealth generated by the Equitism model is earmarked for creating a social safety net that is unheard of in most modern cities. This includes world-class educational institutions, from early childhood centers to universities, all accessible to every resident. It means comprehensive healthcare services focused on wellness and prevention. It means funding for the arts, culture, and public recreation, creating a vibrant and engaging community life. The city's design itself encourages social interaction, with sprawling public parks, open plazas, and community centers woven into the fabric of every neighborhood. The goal is to build a city that is not only sustainable and efficient, but also equitable, inclusive, and deeply humane. The selection process for the first pioneers, the first 50,000 residents, will be crucial. The project aims to attract a diverse and talented group of people from all walks of life who are passionate about building this new kind of society from the ground up. Naturally, a project this ambitious attracts a healthy dose of skepticism, and it's important to address it. Critics point to the immense logistical and political hurdles. Acquiring a massive tract of land, securing water rights in the desert, and navigating the complex web of regulations is a monumental task. The $400 billion cost is another major question mark. While Marc Lore has committed some of his own fortune, the project will rely on a mix of private investors, philanthropists, and eventually federal and state grants. Can they raise that kind of capital for a project with such a long-term, unproven return on investment? And then there's the human element. Is the concept of equitism truly viable on a large scale? History is filled with failed utopian experiments. Can a city designed with such specific rules and a singular economic model truly foster the kind of organic, sometimes messy, but ultimately resilient culture that defines great cities? Some worry it could become a sterile, overly managed environment, a billionaire's grand vision that feels more like a corporate campus than a living, breathing city. These are all valid concerns, and the truth is, no one knows the answers yet. But perhaps that is the entire point. Telosa is not being presented as a perfect, guaranteed solution. It is being presented as a bold, necessary experiment, a living laboratory. Our world is at a crossroads. We face climate change, resource scarcity, and growing social divides. The old models of urban development are proving inadequate for the challenges of the 21st century. We need new ideas. We need to be willing to try something radical. Whether Telosa ultimately succeeds in its grand vision and becomes a beacon for the world, or whether it becomes a valuable lesson in what not to do, its very existence forces us to confront a fundamental question. What do we want our cities to be? Should they be engines of inequality or platforms for shared prosperity? Should they be monuments to the past or blueprints for a sustainable future? The journey to build Telosa will be long and fraught with challenges, but it represents a flicker of profound optimism. It's a belief that human ingenuity, when combined with a genuine desire for equity and sustainability, can in fact build a better world. It's an invitation for all of us to stop accepting the cities we have and start imagining the cities we deserve. What are your thoughts on this? Is Telosa a revolutionary blueprint for the future of humanity, or an unrealistic fantasy? I'm genuinely curious to read your perspective. Let me know in the comments below. And if this exploration into the future of our world sparked your imagination, please give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to see it. Thanks for watching.